What's up guys, Retro Gamer Gen X here, and in today's episode we're going to be taking a look at a few pickups that I got recently. One is actually from a computer hoarder's house. Crazy story, I'll be telling you guys about this. One is actually a tabletop arcade from 1981, really cool pickup that I got. And the other stuff is from the Netherlands, and that's those parts for the Amiga 2000 that I've been telling you guys about. So stay tuned, there's going to be plenty of cool stuff coming up on this episode. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to take a look at here is the stuff for the Amiga 2000. I got a hold of a really cool guy on the Amiga Facebook group. His name is Marvin Drogsma, and he owns the Retro 8-Bit Shop Arcade. And some really cool stuff he sent to me as well. Just some swag here. This is the Home Computer Museum from the Netherlands as well, which he is actually a part of too. So some really cool stuff here. I'm just going to put it up. You guys can pause it if you want to take a look and read it or whatnot. But really cool. So that was awesome of him to send that. He actually sent a little pin here with his store's name on there as well. So that's cool too. Now here's the actual package that I've been waiting for. So I have that Amiga 2000 keyboard. I'll show it to you guys here in a little bit. That needs to be restored. It has a standoff inside that's broken, so like the corner will flap open. It's missing 3 keys, but the keyboard itself works. It just needs to be cleaned up and kind of restored. But he did go ahead and send me the keys that I need, and with the keys he sent an extra kind of bonus for the Amiga as well. So I'm going to kind of show you this. So these are the Space Invader keys for the, the high-tech keyboard for the Amiga. So I was missing the X key, so I got that. I was missing the Alt key, and I got that. And then I got the Help key as well that I'm missing right here. So some pretty cool stuff. If you guys haven't seen like the inside of these, that's what they look like. That's the Space Invader high-tech keyboard for the Amiga 2000, and for the 500s had them too, I believe. A few of them had. Kind of a different one. Now the other thing he sent in this box here is an Amiga Kickstart ROM. So this is really cool. He noticed that I only had Kickstart 1.2 on the Amiga 2000 there. And so he decided to go ahead and send me version 2.04 for the Amiga 500 and for the 2000. So this allows you to do a few different things with the Amiga. Brings up like a boot menu, I believe. Has auto config. A few other things that it allows you to do. I'll have to really look into it to see. But once we do this and we get this installed and I do the restoration for the keyboard, that'll be a video coming up. So keep an eye out for that too, guys. Alright, so the next thing I kind of wanted to show you guys was this. So I actually got onto Facebook Marketplace, and this guy was selling a manual for a Commodore 1351 mouse. And I got to his house, and this place was like a computer hoarder's dream, I guess you would say. I mean, some people say I hoard these old systems or whatnot, but you know, it's displayed nice. You know, it's not a whole bunch of stuff. No, this was like a hoarder's house. You could literally snake your way through the computers and the monitors and the manuals and everything he had just stacked up through his living room, everywhere. Even the kitchen was just packed with computers. It was crazy, guys. So I didn't want to get no computers. In fact, he didn't want to really sell any computers. We know how those kind of people are. They're really into their collections, even though it's just like literally taking up every inch of space in the house. But I did end up getting this manual here, the 1351 mouse manual for the Commodore. then since I do have one of these, I picked this up. This is the actual Amiga 2000 introduction. So it shows you basically everything about the Amiga 2000. I was showing my son this, and I was like, when you bought a computer back in the day, this is what you used to get. Now you get like a little setup guide, and that's it. But yeah, it's really cool to have this. Another thing I got, since I have an Amiga 500, same thing. I got the Amiga 500 user manual. So once again, just a really thick manual here, guys, just chock full of all the information for that. Now this is the actual Amiga Kickstart 1.2 version of the user manual, and this is the Amiga 500 Kickstart 1.3. So if you look in here, it has all the information for like Kickstart Workbench for 1.3. So really cool there. So I'm kind of happy to get that as well. Now I just picked up some random stuff too. I'm not quite sure what this is. Software enhancer software featuring Amiga DOS 1.3 and Kickstart. So I guess it's some kind of manuals for this kind of software as well. So I haven't really read through all this stuff, guys. I've just, I just got it like today. So I'm really stoked to get all these manuals. It's really cool. So here's a manual for Amiga Basic. It's kind of folded over on the top, kind of sucks, but what do you do, but yeah, really cool. So if you're into try to program on Amiga Basic, this is the manual for you, and I'm probably going to try this because I love like programming on the Commodore 64 and the Apple II and stuff. Never really kind of dove into programming on the Amiga. I know there's so many different programming language other than just Basic, but I think this is a really good starting point. Try to start coding on the Amiga. An Okamate 10. I do have this printer as well, so it was kind of cool to find this manual here. This is for the Commodore 64. Let's see. Oh, the 1084 high resolution monitor. Now I have a 1084S. This is just for the 1084, but kind of cool to have a manual for it. Even has like the registration cards and everything still in it, so really cool there too, guys. Now I also have one of these, and if I ever get a phone line, I don't have an actual phone line. Everything's cell phones nowadays. But I do have the Commodore modem here, 1200. So I do have one of these as well, so it's kind of cool to get the manual for that. Here's another Amiga Basic, which is in way better shape for the Amiga 2000 and for the 500. So this one's in like almost pristine shape, really good condition. So I like this one. It's actually a newer updated version too. Commodore Buyer's Guide to Software and Accessories. So that's kind of cool. It just shows you all the different kind of stuff that is available for the Amiga and the Commodore and all that kind of stuff. Really cool. Amiga Term Communication Software User's Guide. So this is for the Amiga Term to be able to get onto like BBSs and stuff like that using the modem. This is the actual software manual for it and how to use it. This one's kind of cool. Amiga DOS Manual, 2nd edition. So this is not actually a Commodore manual. This is like a book that somebody made back in the day. This covers Amiga DOS 1.1 and 1.2. So basically for the Kickstart and the Kickstart version that I have, or Amiga DOS version that I have in my Amiga 2000. So pretty cool there too, guys. The Commodore Amiga 520 adapter. So this is what I have for my Amiga 500 to be able to do the composite video out. So kind of cool to find the manual for that too. And last but not least, guys, I found a bit of box software. Boring and bland, but takes me back to my old high school days and things like that. And that's Amiga Testcraft Plus. For all you Amiga guys out there that was like in school or college during the same time that these were popular, you probably know this very well. This is the word processing software for it. Although I didn't really use my Amiga too much for school work, it was more of a gaming machine, I did do some papers and things with this as well. So, but this is really cool. So it has, the little box here, and it has, the actual instructions on how to use a word processing software in here. So really cool stuff there. Just kind of shows you all the instructions, and then the diskette as well. So there you go. And that's it for all the Amiga stuff, but pretty good haul there of all these different manuals for all the hardware that I had. I had a couple of manuals for like some of these old retro consoles and stuff, for like the Ataris and stuff, but I didn't have anything for the Amigas. So it was really cool to get that, and then that manual for the Commodore 64 Okadata printer is pretty cool too. So the last thing that I want to kind of show you is this here. A Tommytronic TRON tabletop. I actually only picked this up for $5, guys, from a garage sale, from a yard sale. And I really didn't expect it to work, and pop batteries into it and works just fine, no problem with it. As you guys can see here. There we go. And it's working. So, some really cool stuff, guys. I was happy to pick this up. I'm actually going to do a video about this and a look at video for this. I'm just kind of trying to find the history of it, who kind of developed it, and why it came about, and maybe talk about some of the other Tommy games as well, because I do have digital baseball as well. It's not a tabletop, but it's like a handheld. One of the early ones from, I think that was from like 1978. So I might do a look at series for these old Tommy handhelds and tabletops. So this one's really cool. This is a really cool addition to my collection. It needs to be cleaned up. I haven't cleaned it yet, but definitely really, really cool, guys. So anyway, guys, that's really about the end of the video. Like I said, I got a really cool haul. I wanted to thank Marvin once again. I'm going to post some links to his store and to the Home Computer Museum as well. Definitely a really cool guy. If you guys are into Amiga stuff or arcade stuff or anything dealing with like old retro things, he's a really cool guy. He's got lots of products, lots of chips, lots of everything for sale on his store. So definitely somebody to check out. And then with the TRON, and then with all the manuals and everything, I couldn't be happier to get all this. And to try to learn maybe some Amiga Basic. Like I said, I've never really tried programming in any kind of a code on the Amiga. So this is going to be my start, and maybe I'll start coding some other stuff. So we'll see. But future projects, guys, is going to be that restoration of the Amiga keyboard. We'll be doing that. Installing the Kickstart ROM into the Amiga 2000. Also, I'll be doing the video on the TRON tabletop, and maybe if you guys want to, I can go a little bit more in depth on this actual stuff here with the manuals. Alrighty, guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. You guys have a great one. Peace out.
Game over, man. It's game over.